Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Rabbi srahli sadari wa yassirli amri, wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Respected elders and beloved brothers and sisters in Indonesian Muslim community in Calgary, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, O you who believe, why do you say something that you don't do? And it is very distasteful, it's very hateful, it's very despicable in the sight of Allah that you say something that you don't do. Now this is very serious, and this is the main point from the lesson that we had regarding Surah Yusuf last week. Yeah, and the Prophet Yusuf a.s. show us, when you call someone to Islam, when you call someone to do any good deeds, you need to earn it. In this case, you need to show that you actually embody that good deed. Yeah, don't just say it, because people wouldn't believe. And worst thing is that Allah dislike your calling someone to do something that you don't do. Now, inshallah, in this next verses, we are going to continue how you call someone to Islam by looking into how Prophet Yusuf called his friends, the inmates that were with him in the prison, to the religion of Tawhid. Before we start, let's recite these verses together, inshallah. Okay, so this is Surah Yusuf, verses number 38 and 39, inshallah. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wattaba'tu millata abai Ibrahim wa Ishaq wa Yaqub. Ma kana lana an nusrika billahi min syai'. Dzalika min fadlillahi alaina wa 'alan nasi walakinna aktsaran nasi la yashkurun. Ya sahibais sijni arbabun mutafarriqun. Ya sahibais sijni arbabun mutafarriquna khairun amillah. Arbabun mutafarriquna khairun amillahul wahidul qahhar. Sadaqallahul azim. So for the purpose of our discussion today, we will use this translation, inshallah. I follow the path of my fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Yaqub. Yeah, so I follow the path of my fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Yaqub. All right. Here, after, you know, the next step, basically, in calling someone to Islam, or in this case, Prophet Yusuf calling his fellow inmates to the religion of Tawhid, right? First of all, he needs to show that this is something that is a continuation. Yeah, so he tried, the point is that he tried to relate, yeah, so that whatever message that he's going to give, we resonate with them. All right, so he said that, you know, what I'm going to tell you is the faith of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaqub. So as we said last week, the Prophet Abraham a.s. was in Egypt, right? So although these fellow inmates probably didn't practice it, but it may be in their in something still in their memory, right? From their fathers and forefathers, right? The story of Abraham, because they said it themselves, right? You seems to be a good doer, yeah, to Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. Okay, so they have kind of like relation that good doer has a relationship to Allah, and there is a faith there. So Yusuf follow it up to resonate with them that this is not something new. This is the faith of my fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Of course, this is the father of Yusuf is Jacob, right? But he also called Isaac and Abraham as father. This is another thing, but we don't have the time to discuss it in this opportunity, or inshallah some other time. And Prophet Yusuf alaihissalam said, it is not right for us to associate anything with Allah in worship again. The next point, when you call someone to Allah, be to the point. Yeah. So what is important first and foremost in what he's trying to call, right? So he's not talking about all the different rulings within his religion. No, start with the most important thing. Do not associate anything with Allah. If you remember, this is also the message from Luqman, yeah, in the Surah Luqman, in the chapter of Luqman, when Luqman give message to his son, yeah, do not associate anything with Allah. All right. This is part of Allah's grace upon us. What? Yusuf was in prison at that time. He was thrown to well, he was thrown to prison, and then yet he still said that this is part of Allah's grace upon us and humanity. Yeah. So this is the thing. Yeah. So that's why we said that this nikmah, this bounty of iman is the best nikmah, is the best bounty. We may be in the different situation, in the difficult situation in this world, rather. But if we have iman, it's the best thing that we can get. So that's why that Yusuf said, alayhi salam is here, said, this is part of Allah's grace upon us and humanity. And another thing of one to say this is that he always looked in the positive side. He's in prison. He was thrown to the well by his brother. He was thrown to prison by Aziz and their family. But he always looked at the positive side. All right? But most people are not grateful. Yeah, so this is, again, if we see the message from Luqman to his son, yeah, this is also saying, even the first one, yeah, be grateful to your Lord. Yeah, this is the first thing. Yeah, the first thing. So the pinnacle or the highest point where people is ungrateful to Allah is when they deny the existence of Allah, given all the things that they have is coming from Allah. That's the pinnacle. Their breath is from Allah. Who gave you the air, right? Their eyesight is from Allah, right? And then you use your eyesight to see something that Allah doesn't want you to see. That's the pinnacle of ungrateful to Allah. May Allah protect us from that, inshallah. Okay. Next point. Yeah. So there are 2 points already we discussed. Yeah. Let's make sure that first, relation. Yeah. Relate what your message to your audience. Second, start with the most important thing. The third one, yeah. Now, because he's going to give an argument here, he tried to relate his situation. That's why he said, oh, fellow prisoners. So we are on the same side. Yeah. So when you call to people to da'wah, you need to say, you need to have a common ground. We are fellow human, we are fellow citizen, blah, 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 right? So you here as well, right? All my fellow prisoners. Okay. Yeah, so he by his citizen, yeah. All my fellow prisoners. Yeah, so he by Sijni arbabun mutafarikun. Yeah, so all fellow prisoner, yeah, until here, arbab, arbab is a plural, is a jamak of Rabb, yeah, meaning many gods here. Different is, or many different gods, yeah, means mutafarikun here, mutafarikun, yeah. So here, as I mentioned to you, he's going to go into the next level of the message, because the ancient Egypt people worship gods, many gods, yeah. They may have one supreme god that they have something in mind, but there are many gods, okay. So arbab is many gods. So here Yusuf said that, oh fellow prisoner, which one is better? Many different lords or Allah? Of course, this is a rhetoric. So a question that doesn't wait for answer. It doesn't need answer. It's like a rhetoric, right? Arbabum mutafarikun khairun, is it better? Amillah, yeah, then Allah, al-wahidul al-qahar. Now, here, when you say arbabum mutafarikun, is in the indefinite form, many, and it's not definitive, it's indefinite form. But here, Allahul wahidul qahar is definite. That Allah, the one, al-wahid, and the supreme, al-qahar. Yeah, so it's very definite with al here, right? Allahul wahidul qahar. It's very definite. So there's only one, and you can see here Allah used his name al-wahid. You know, we are familiar with Surah Al-Ikhlas, chapter Al-Ikhlas, where Allah referred to himself al-ahad. But here al-wahid. Yeah, the difference is that here al-wahid, because he's going to show that there are many gods that they worship, yeah, but he is the only one. He is the one, and he al-qahar, supreme, mean that he supreme over the other. Yeah. So here you use wahid when you are referring to one that is above everything else. Okay. Yeah, so this is what in theology said, or Usuluddin said, this is one in its names, in its attribute, and in its action, just one. But when we say ahad, is one in its entity, in its zat, it's in essence, it's just one, right? So that's the difference why Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, he'll use al-wahidul al-qahar. Yeah, so here the one, the prevailing. Yeah, okay, because here he's trying to relate to the many gods that these people of ancient Egypt worship. Okay, so now there is one final point that I want to share from one of the references that we use, yeah, from the book of Prophet Yusuf in the Quran, the Bible and history, from CD Luai Fatuhi, is related to the God. Yeah, one God. Okay, so yes, it is one God. Okay, but that one God is Allah. So if I worship something else than Allah, but it's only one, it doesn't count. That's not one God. Yeah, it has to be one God and Allah. Yeah, I repeat, one God, and that God is Allah. That's what we believe. Not just one God. No, I could worship something else, just one. Let's say the worst thing is I worship myself, just one. That's not the case. It's one and it's Allah. So this is one of the point, right? So that's why the atheists, yeah, as opposed to the polytheists believe in many gods. Atheists believe in no God, but actually they believe in nature as their God. So they don't believe in no God. They actually believe in nature, yeah, in the causal effect of nature as their God. Maybe it's only one, but that's not what we meant, right? We meant, and we always mean that we worship one God, and that God is Allah Azza wa Jalla. May Allah give us taufiq. May Allah strengthen our iman, and may Allah make our iman accompany our inward deed, and may Allah manifest our iman in our deed externally. Barakallahu fikum wa afu minkum. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.